Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you're not new, thank you guys so much for coming back. I really appreciate your support. Today's video is going to be hopefully short and sweet and to the point. I'm going to be doing a review of the new Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense. This is what she looks like. Focus, dude. I got the travel spray because obviously I didn't want to blind buy it and like risk it for the biscuit and spend $150. This is what the packaging of the travel spray looks like, which I'm obsessed with. I think it's so cute. Anyways, I don't own the original, but I've tried it several times in store because I considered buying it because it's talked about all the time. And I also happen to have like a sample. So I thought it would be helpful to start by comparing it to the original. So the reason I don't own the original actually is because of the dry down. The opening of the original it's a fruity floral, but there's a lot of sweetness in there. There's a lot of fruitiness in the opening. It's kind of like, I'm not going to say it's light, but it's kind of flirty. It's kind of playful. It's a little bit younger. I'm not going to say it's like juvenile. It's not, but because it's like bright, juicy, fruity, floral, I feel like it's a crowd pleaser and all ages would like this, which is probably why it's raved about. The reason I don't own it is because the longer it sits on my skin, I lose the parts of it that I love, which is that opening. Like, I wish that fruity kind of sweetness stuck around, but the longer it sits on my skin, I'm basically left with like a semi-sweet floral scent, which I don't love florals, in case you're new here. So that's that. The opening I love. I wish it stayed like the opening, but then the longer it sits, I get way too much florals for my liking. Anyways. And then, okay, the Intense. The notes on Fragrantica, there's only 3 notes listed, and it's vanilla, jasmine, and benzoin. So the reason I risked it for this one is because anytime there's vanilla in a fragrance, I feel like I'm gonna like it better. So I was hoping, my hope for this was that it was gonna be like a vanilla heavy version, a little bit darker, but like more like of a creamy vanilla vibe. And this was brand new, so I didn't see any reviews on it, so I kind of just risked it. I've worn this a few times, by the way, so I kind of know how I feel about it. The opening of this is where I get the vanilla. The vanilla is the top note, which makes sense because the opening is when you get that shot of vanilla, which I had hope for. So that was like, ooh, I like the opening, you know? So I had hope. But that disappears in like a minute. That vanilla is like there, it teases me, and then she's gone. And then is when I get the floral notes. Okay, and it's jasmine listed in here. However, I'm not going to tell you like what's listed. I'm going to tell you what I thought of when I first smelled it. And this is going to sound weird, but when I first smelled this, and still now, especially in the opening, I feel like I smell dandelions. Okay, and that sounds weird, but I get like this yellow floral, which I'm associating with dandelions because as a mother, I feel like all moms can relate. We know the smell of dandelions very well because young children forever pick dandelions and they say, here mom, I picked you a flower, smell it. So I spent so many years pretending I like the smell of dandelions because they did something cute for me, and I hate the smell of dandelions. But that's kind of what this smelled like in the opening. I don't know why I got this association with like a yellow floral as opposed to a white floral, which I don't really like yellow florals. And it was giving me a dandelion vibe, and there's like this greenness to it, especially in the opening, this green kind of sharpness to that floral note, which I personally found bothersome. And then the longer it sits, I lose the vanilla altogether. So I'm basically left with a semi-sweet floral scent, but not overly sweet. And the sweetness in this is not like the vanilla that I wanted. It's not like that creamy vanilla. It's almost like a resinous, waxy sweetness. And it's not overly sweet. It's just like semi-sweet, but I feel like this is called Intense, but this is like an intense floral. I would describe the scent personally as a floral amber scent, an amber floral scent, if you will. That's basically what it is. On my skin, the longer it sits, it's pretty linear. It's not too complicated. And it's an amber floral. That's the sweetness that you get is from the amber, but the amber in this is not like a super warm amber either. Like sometimes amber could be very like warm and cozy and like sticky sweet, like honey almost. It's not that sweet. That's why I'm saying semi-sweet. On me anyways, it's like semi-sweet. And floral. The floral's like definitely the star of the show. It's like an intense floral, which is not my vibe. The longer it sits on my skin, I will say I like it better than the opening, but I still don't love it. It's a like, not a love. And even with that said, I don't know if this is one that will stay in my collection, only because I don't love florals. And this is an amber floral, but the floral is like the star of the show. So I feel like I won't reach for it. Now, this I would say it leans like more mature. She's a little bit more grown up because it's like a heavier, like darker floral scent. With that amber, it's a little bit more grown up. I feel like this one, the original Born in Roma, is a little bit more, not youthful, but it's definitely more like bright. It's more flirty, a little bit more playful. And I would say the Intense leans a little bit more mature, a little bit darker. But sometimes Intense, you think it's gonna last longer, it's gonna project more, it's gonna be more beastly. I didn't find that to be the case. Actually, both times that I wore this, this is my third day. So I wore it 2 full days and then today. So this is my third day of wearing it. And I would say after 2 hours, it sits closer to the skin. You would have to come in to smell it. It doesn't project too much. It doesn't take over a room. So it's not intense in that sense. I wouldn't even consider this intense, to be honest with you. So yeah, I feel like it sits a little closer to my skin. You'd have to come in to smell it. After 2 hours, it's pretty subtle. It sits close to my skin. So just know that. She's on the skin still. It's not like it disappears. It's not gone, but it's not a skin scent, but you'd have to come close to smell it. So it's not like super intense in the way that I thought. And yeah, that's that. So I feel like if you liked the original, you could give this a try. I feel like they're different enough to own both because they don't smell the same. They don't smell like super close. You could definitely own both. I still kind of prefer the original, but even with that said, I don't own the original. So that goes to tell you something, because it's just not, it's pretty, but it's just not my vibe. I feel like it doesn't match my personality, and I don't love floral fragrances. I was hoping for more vanilla. I was definitely hoping for a little bit more vanilla, maybe a little bit more creaminess to tone down like that floral note. I feel like the Intense is more of like an intense floral scent, which I don't love. It's pretty. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it, but it's not one of those fragrances that I could see myself like wanting to wear. There's certain fragrances that like the second you wear them, they're love at first sniff. They make you want to wear them. This isn't one of those for me. And in general, I do think this leans a little bit too mature for me and a little bit too floral for me. It doesn't match my personality. So I feel like it's a miss. I'm going to be returning her. You win some, you lose some. It is what it is. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on my other socials. They're always linked down below. And I will see you guys in the next one.